All right, good morning, boys and girls. We're going to do a drawing together today, and it's going to be a drawing of a castle. I'm doing two different ones. I'm going to do two at the same time, and each one I'm going to be a little bit different. So when you're doing this by yourself, feel free to change little parts here and there. I think we're going to start both of them together, and I would tell you to do both of them kind of similar as well until we get further into our drawing and our castle, and you can kind of change it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a black crayon, and that's what I would start with. If you have a black marker, I suppose you could start with that, but let's use a black crayon. And I think on this side, I'm going to draw my castle sitting on a cloud. So this is kind of like a fairy tale type of deal. So I'm just going to do some bumps, maybe a few loops. And that's going to be my castle. So my castle is going to sit on top of this. I wouldn't make anything go too tall because we want to be able to fit our castle on here. So if you make your hill, so on this side I'm doing a hill, too big, or if you make your cloud too big, you won't have enough room for your castle. So our next step on both of them is that we are going to do the drawbridge door. So it's kind of shaped like an upside down U. So I'm gonna do that on both of them. And if you want, you can do some lines on here to make it look like it's made out of wood or bars of iron. And then over top of this, I'm gonna start my actual castle. So I'm gonna draw a box over top. And to this point, I would tell us that we all should be doing kind of the same thing. Once we get this first kind of section of our castle built, we're just gonna repeat it in different parts, but we'll change little pieces here and there. Now on top of this box, I wanna do kind of this castle detail you see on a lot of castle drawings, and it looks like blocks, or it looks like teeth. So if you watch what I'm doing, I'm gonna go up and over, and then I go down and over. And I'm gonna keep doing this the whole way across. Sometimes we call this dental molding, and it kind of looks like teeth. And this is so people, guards up in the castle, could be standing up there and looking between these things without their enemies below being able to see them. So go ahead and give that a try. Take your time. You don't have to go super fast with it, just something to give a chance. And while you're doing that, I'm just gonna do some little details on here that you don't have to do. You can always add windows, different things to your castle. Now let's work our way upward. Once we have this, we're gonna go ahead and start building our way up. So I'm just gonna draw another box. Now it's up to you how big this box is or how much room you have left on your paper. But I'm gonna draw another rectangle or box or square, whatever shape it ends up being. And maybe on this one, it's a little longer, sort of. So I can add maybe 2 windows on this one. And maybe this one has like a window to the side. One of the things you'll notice is symmetry. We're looking at if everything on this side of the castle is the same as on this side of the castle. So to this point, this one's still symmetrical. This one's not anymore. And we're just gonna keep working our way up. If you wanna do this dental molding again, you can. If you wanna keep it simple and just do like a rectangle, you can do that too. So you can go ahead and do whichever one you wanna do on your castle, and I'm gonna change it up between the two. It's pretty good. Now, depending how much room you have left on your paper is how much further up you're gonna go. on both of mine, I have quite a bit of room, so I'm gonna draw maybe another box. Maybe this time I'll do the dental molding. And there's a big door up here. And maybe on this side I do something kind of similar. I think on this side, I'm gonna put a little pointed roof on the tower, and we can put a little flag on the top. And on this side, I'm just gonna do a flag. And maybe this flag is shaped a little different. So we built this main section of our tower, the middle portion of our tower on both sides. We looked at, each time we just drew a box and a little topper, a box and a little topper. And we could change what that looked like or what the windows looked like on each one. And yours could be completely different as far as that goes. I have room on both sides of my castles, so I'm gonna add some towers. I think on this side, I have a little less room than I do on this one. So I'm gonna draw a tall, skinny box. Or you could make it shorter. Cool. On this one, maybe I'm gonna make one big wide one on this side. And maybe it does have a roof on it. And then I'm gonna do a really tall, maybe this one's really skinny too, on this side. And it's got a little roof on it. So go ahead and start to add those things. You can do whatever you're doing with yours. I hope you're drawing while I'm talking. If I'm going too fast, you can pause the video. I always try to talk to fill up some time so it gives you time to catch up. So you can be doing all these things, drawing your flags, deciding what kind of windows you want everywhere. I think this little one, maybe it's the elevator. So it has lots of little stops along the way. It's completely up to you. Pretty cool. I'm going to grab a couple of different colored crayons here while you're drawing. Okay, now that you have that drawn, I'm going to lay out. These are our main colors of the color wheel here. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple or violet. I'm gonna pick 3 colors, and I want them to be 3 colors that are close together. Now something you have to think about is this goes, we put them in order like this, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, but as soon as we get done with red, it starts over again. Or purple, I'm sorry, starts over again with red. And it's kind of this, that's why we call it a color wheel in art class. I just don't happen to have a drawing of a color wheel with me. But we could just keep going till we're back at the beginning. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick blue, purple, and then red would actually come next. So I'm gonna take these 3 colors and I'm gonna switch to just one of these castles for right now. I'm gonna move this one out of the way and focus on coloring this one. And what I want to do is I'm going to take these colors and I'm going to draw, like, pretend that there's a rainbow behind here. This is going to be like our sunset. So each color is going to arch or arc across the sky. Now I'm not going to be scribbling here, but I know it's going to look like I'm scribbling. And I could have done that the other way, could have started with red at the bottom. So let's go ahead and take those crayons, and I'm going to go back and forth like this. I filled up a lot of space with this castle on here. I didn't leave much room on the edges to have to color all this, so it doesn't really take that long, which is kind of nice. And I'm gonna go back and forth like that. Now I'm gonna switch to my next color, and what I wanna do is I wanna do the same thing, but I'm gonna overlap with the color that's under it. So where that blue is, oops, got a little bit on my castle, I want the purple to be going over top. Now, you do not need to do this fast. I want you to take your time and go ahead and do this step. And when you do it, go nice and slow. Now you may decide to watch this whole video and watch how I color the whole thing before you actually start coloring yours. So if you want to see me do the next step, just hold on, keep watching a little bit, and then we'll see how it turns out. Here's my red. Oh. And so I'm overlapping that red with that purple. And so by using these three crayons and overlapping it the way that we are, I'm actually ending up with several other colors without actually having to get different crayons out. And you could do the same technique, and you could use all the colors of the rainbow in their rainbow order. Watch where I'm going around this flag. Pretty cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the rest of my castle, and I'm going to kind of do a similar technique, except now I'm going to use more colors. And what I'm going to do is I might pick 2 colors at a time, or I'll just stick with 1 color. Let me pick a darker color. It'll show up better on the camera. This is a darker orange. And I'm pressing hard on the edge of my castle, each one of these little sections, this block. And as I work towards the middle, I want to press lighter till I'm actually not pressing at all. And it's just white. And what that's going to do is, 1, it's going to make our castle look cool. And 2, it's going to make each one of these look like they're 3-dimensional, like they're actually like a round sphere or a cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up. And you can just watch me color the whole thing, and then you can go ahead and color it as well. Okay, guys and girls, it's all colored. I picked 1 color for each one of these sections. I thought about doing 2, but I think it looks fine with just the 1. And I made sure that I pressed hard in the edges and hardly pressed at all in the middle to make that color change from darker to lighter. I also went in and decorated each one of these with a different pattern, just because I thought it'd make it a little more interesting to look at. I hope you enjoyed this drawing. I hope you give it a try, and good luck. If they turn out really great, I'd love to see them. So, good luck, everybody.